Down. Alrighty. I was surprised just how fast this stream sort of creeped up on me. I thought I had it under control, but I'm like, oh, wait a minute. It's a lot around the corner than I thought. Literally, when I got back up from getting my tea, I'm like, oh, it's already 6:25. Oh no, I gotta hurry up with this. So, welcome everyone to another early morning live stream where our topics are all over the place. Well, I guess not. Well, I guess we'll see. So, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, it's good old Transformers, and the reason why I want to bring this up during this, oh, there it is, my, my daily error from YouTube Studios is not receiving a video to maintain smooth streaming. I don't care. So, the reason why I'm sort of interested in more talking about Transformer-related things for this live stream is because last night, it just came to me, the idea of Transformers just came to me, and I'm like, I haven't seen Transformers in years, so why not just look up stuff? So I was on YouTube just looking up a bunch of random Transformers stuff, and I'm like, I want to sort of talk about it, which is kind of weird. Well, let me put it this way. I know a decent amount about Transformers, but not big lore stuff, so I don't know how interesting I'll be able to make this stream talking about Transformers, and I don't know if Transformers will even end up being the main point of this video, if I can even talk about it for like 10 minutes. Yeah, so I just thought I wanted to talk about Transformers for a little bit. Oh, that's hot tea. So, as you could probably tell from the thumbnail, if you know Transformers, you probably know who Soundwave is. Soundwave is one of the Decepticons. The reason why I put Soundwave as the Decepticon for the thumbnail is because out of all of them, not just out of specifically the Decepticons, but out of both Decepticons, Autobots, basically all Transformers, Soundwave is 100% my favorite. And I want to bring up Soundwave here on stream. Special guest star, Soundwave. He's coming. So I'm gonna go ahead, get this oh no, I already have one. What am I doing? Alright, so watch me as I what's button? Here, disappear. And this guy reappears. There we go. So, this is my favorite design of Soundwave. Because this is a classic design of Soundwave since the old shows. And a lot of the newer ones, there was another animated show, I can't remember, that sort of twisted a lot of the original's designs that I didn't really like as much. Plus the animation was kind of really bad. So, but anyways, this specific Soundwave, this specific design of Soundwave, and whenever I say design, whenever I mentioned it the first time, I'm talking about how he has that thing, this cannon on his shoulder or sound, whatever it is, and he has that boxy boombox look, which this technically this version of Soundwave, this is a Cybertronian form, so he would transform into a vehicle, not the boombox that he would have turned into for like some of the older shows that he would normally be, whatever. So anyways, I say all that to say that's not what I'm talking about whenever I said design the first time. This specific Soundwave comes from two games. I don't know if it was released on any other platform besides Xbox, but I played them on Xbox, which was The Fall of Cybertron and The War of Cybertron. And I played both games, and they were really, really fun. I've already played The War of Cybertron much more than I played The Fall of Cybertron, but I would not be opposed to buying The Fall of Cybertron again. I played The War of Cybertron so much that I've sort of become dull to it. I already know a lot about it because I played it so much. I would love to play The Fall of Cybertron a lot more, because that's the one I haven't played a lot. But I do remember a lot about the game. Like, you can become Grimace, if you guys even know some of those. So Grimace is an Autobot, that's like a dinosaur Autobot. a Dinobot. That's what I meant to say, because that's what their team called. There's like a few specific teams in both the Decepticons and the Autobots that are like of their own team. For instance, the Dinobots are part of the Autobots that are dinosaur themed. There was 2 specific groups that I remember, which I gotta say, I mean, I guess it's in the lore because they sort of transferred over to the War of Cybertron, the Fall of Cybertron. One of the most interesting things that I've seen through the Transformers series was both in the War of Cybertron, the Fall of Cybertron, and in the original, well, I shouldn't say original, because I don't know if there was a show that predated it, but there was some other Transformer show thing that happened. I don't know when specifically. I don't know if it was specifically called Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, or if it was just called Transformers, but it was a very old 2D animated series, and I owned a lot of the DVDs for it. Much older cartoon, but it was one of my favorites growing up. So in that series, they introduced creating, basically, both the Decepticons and the Autobots created sort of new Transformers to sort of help combat, because they went to the sort of destroyed Cybertron, and I forgot the reason why they went there, because of some well, the Autobots went there because the Decepticons went there because they were going to create new Decepticons to help them, because it was a whole conflict of the Decepticons reigned over the sky, which I gotta say, that's the one thing I sort of don't like about that series. At that time I thought it was cool, but now that I realize it, I'm like, that's kind of stupid. Like, all the Decepticons could fly, unrelated to like any kind of logic, no matter what kind of vehicle. They didn't even transform for a lot of it. Like Soundwave, for instance. Soundwave is primarily like a land guy, because he turns into a boombox. His Cybertronian form is a vehicle, a land vehicle. I don't know why he flew, so it was really weird to me. But anyways, the Decepticons in this series, they were like the masters of the sky. The Autobots, they were the masters of the ground. And the Decepticons thought that they could get an edge over the Autobots by creating Decepticons that could do lands, basically transform into land, whatever. So what they did is they went to Cybertron. I think it was the original plan for going to Cybertron. I don't know if it was because of creating new Decepticons, or if it was because they found some key or something, because I remember in that same arc they were doing something with some Cybertronian key to unlock. It wasn't the core of Cybertron. I think technically that was the Allspark, but it was to unlock something, and it was some being that existed within Cybertron that I don't remember. But that thing that they went to, whatever it was, it's a lot of confusing stuff that I don't remember. But they went there for that specific being, because that specific being could do what they wanted to do. So the Decepticons went, they got a bunch of random vehicles. They got like race cars and whatnot. They went and then they did, and then they made the, I don't remember how they did it specifically. I guess they just went, if I remember correctly, they just sort of put it in front of whatever the being was that was living inside Cybertron, and it just gave them life. And they introduced, I don't remember what that group of Decepticons were called specifically, but that sort of implemented, and again, I don't know if that's where it started. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just realized Soundwave's been up this entire time. Go away, Soundwave. But, so, let me try. Soundwave distracted me. Oh yeah, so after they went, did all the whatevers, the Autobots. Oh no, I forgot to finish what I was saying before. So this specific group of Decepticons, again, I forgot what they were called. Technically, they ended up going a little bit later on to create more of them that could also do a similar thing that I'm about to explain. So this specific group of Decepticons, they could turn into a much bigger Decepticon. 2 would create the legs, 2 would create. It was usually a team of 5 or 6. I think it was normally 6. So 2 legs, 2 arms, 1 body, and then 1 head. So, and then they would form to create a bigger Decepticon. I think the one that was created by specifically all the like race car Decepticons, all those that they used the first time, I think they turned into a bigger Decepticon called Brutus, but I could be wrong about that. So, and then the Autobots came in, And then in order to sort of match them, just like the Decepticons wanted to control more like land power, the Autobots decided to beat them at their own game and create Autobots that could fly, because during that they didn't have Jetfire or anything. So, and Jetfire was a part of the group, I think. I could be wrong about that though. So they created the flying Autobots, and they too can create a much bigger Autobot. Again, 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 body, 1 head. I don't remember what their bigger form was called. In the fall of so in the War of Cybertron, to sort of explain that, they introduced that Decepticon, the Brutus Decepticon, with all the race cars of the originals from that show, in the fall of Cybertron, which is really, really cool. But anyways, to sort of explain, because I kind of want to explain it, it started with the War of Cybertron, then ended with the fall of Cybertron. I think that's how it was chronologically supposed to go. So the War of Cybertron, obviously a big war between the Decepticons and the Autobots, and you're going to whatever, defeat whatever. And so I think during the War of Cybertron, you get to play, so you start playing as the Autobots, and then after you finish playing through all the Autobot missions, you play through all the Decepticon missions, and you get to see both aspects of the war, which I gotta say was one of my favorite parts of playing both the War of Cybertron and the Fall of Cybertron, because of how cool it was to shift the aspects. I thought it was going to be primarily like an Autobot game, but it was really cool that you could shift the different aspects. So the War of Cybertron, you started with the Autobots, ended with the Decepticons. You see both their perspectives during different parts throughout the game, and they both both of them had a big end thing. So the Decepticons had this big, I'm jumping all over the place. So the Decepticons during the War of Cybertron had this giant space station thing that shot giant lasers from space that hovered above Cybertron, that struck down and destroyed a lot of the Autobots from up in the sky. I'm gonna take a sip of my drink. Good stuff. So they use that for a lot of big stuff. And so sorry, I lost my train of thought. So, and later on, as the Autobots, you go up to that space station, and when you get there, you go inside of it and you destroy it. However, you become I think they're the aerial bots, which was the flying Autobots. Again, I could be wrong about that. So you play as one of the aerial bots, you go in there, and then you destroy it. But during your attempt to destroy the station, you end up finding out that the station itself is actually one gigantic Decepticon, which I have to say, I knew about Omega Supreme, because he was also featured in that original show that I watched. But I did not know that this other giant Decepticon existed, which was called Trypticon. I was not expecting Trypticon at all. If I had to describe Trypticon looking back, if you guys know Yu-Gi-Oh, or at least specifically the Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal series, if you watch that or if you played the game, you know about the number cards. If I had to describe what Trypticon looked like, I mean, I guess you could look it up. I don't know why I'm using Yu-Gi-Oh! To explain it. But if I had to sort of explain in similar fashion to what Trypticon looks like, he looks like number 107 from Yu-Gi-Oh! Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. So it's kind of a similar design. So you end up, Trypticon ends up transforming. You sort of see his actual body looking arms, legs form, you know. And it's funny because he's a giant Decepticon that wears a jetpack, which I think is really funny. So you end up fighting him in this final form, and then his jetpack's destroyed. He crashes, and his legs get destroyed, so he can't really move. So, and then you take the place of Optimus Prime and Bumblebee and another Autobot on the surface, and you go to finish off Trypticon, and that's the final mission for the Autobots to contain Trypticon. Because I was about to say, they went to destroy Trypticon, but technically that isn't true, because during the next game, the Fall of Cybertron, Trypticon is still alive. The Autobots have him contained, so I can't say destroyed. So they went to subdue Trypticon, and that's how you succeed in the mission. And then the Decepticon journey sort of takes place directly after the events of, or no, because that's, yeah, no, never mind, scratch that. That isn't true. But anyways, oh, as the Decepticon mission, the reason why I'm not explaining a lot of the missions and just skipping to the beginning is because I want to get to the other game as well to sort of explain that one, because I like that one a lot more. So, in the Decepticon levels, the final Decepticon battle you face, just like with the Autobots fighting the giant Decepticon Tripticon, as the Autobots, you have to fight the giant Autobot Omega Supreme. So you go, you fight them. Technically, you fight Omega Supreme. Each one of them has 3 different stages. What? No. So Tripticon had 3 different stages. He had his space stage, where you fight him in space with his jetpack form, and then the second was like his first phase of whenever you're Optimus Prime fighting him on the ground, and then he turns in like a second phase, which is like how a video game would do a final boss. There's phase 1, phase 2 of their attacks and everything. Same thing with Omega Supreme. The first time you fight him is you're taking control of this Autobot platform, and you have a bunch of turret guns to attack Omega Supreme with, and he's flying through the air trying to destroy you. So that's the first time you fight him, and then the second, third time was the first and second phase of fighting him on the ground. So you play as either, and it's fun that you also get to choose what specific Autobot you want to, or Decepticon you want to use for the mission. I just want to, I just thought I would bring that up. So for the, so during, similar, well, I don't know, I don't think they destroyed Omega Supreme. I don't, well, is the, oh no, I remember. Because I remember how the Fall of Cybertron went, so I know how the War of Cybertron goes. So similar to what they did to Tripticon, they didn't destroy Omega Supreme. They put Dark Energon in him and sort of subdued him that way, which Dark Energon was a whole weird thing implemented. Can I just say that? It's not that I don't like it. I think the idea of the Dark Energon in the Transformer universe is pretty interesting. It's just if you use it correctly as opposed to using it, just throwing it out there randomly. It's kind of bad, so use it correctly. Transformer franchise, I was about to say whoever created it, because I don't remember who, yeah, whatever. So that's sort of all I want to talk about for the War of Cybertron. Now talking about the Fall of Cybertron. So obviously it's accurate to say that the Fall of Cybertron takes place after the events of the War of Cybertron. And the Fall of Cybertron implements the, I think they were called the Titans, if I remember correctly. So if I am getting this specific Transformer lore correct, so the Fall of Cybertron, no, I'm sorry, it goes to talk about the lore. Again, I'm all over the place. If I'm remembering Transformer lore correctly, during the age of Cybertron, whenever it was still of the Golden Age and not destroyed and there was no war, there existed these gigantic, more gigantic than Omega Supreme, Tripticon. They were called Titans. I think they were called Titans. They were like, I don't remember if they were either the Guardians or if they were overseers of Cybertron. They were one of the two. And in the Fall of Cybertron, as Optimus Prime, you awaken. Oh, one of the, I think they were the Titans. If it wasn't a Titan, I could be completely wrong about it entirely. So this is one of the plot lines that I really enjoyed a part of the Decepticon mission. So let me explain. So during the Autobot mission, you wake up the Titan, and then the Titan goes to the Decepticon base that they were using during this big battle zone, and it destroys Megatron. It literally just tears him apart. It destroys him, and Starscream has the entire Decepticon force to retreat. And can I just say, Starscream isn't my favorite character, but I love Starscream as a character. For some reason, those specific characters, I think that's why I also like Dementio, specifically characters who try to usurp the original leader, I think is a really cool idea for a character. Again, if it's done right, as long as it's done right. It can be done bad, so as long as it's done right. And this way was really done right. So after Megatron was destroyed, Starscream has all the forces fall back, and then whenever you play specifically the Decepticon plotline, I don't remember how the beginning started, or if this is how the beginning started. I think it was more to the middle, towards the end of the Decepticon stages that you play through. Starscream, obviously, being Starscream, sort of tries to take leadership over the destroyed Megatron. But Soundwave, and this is one of the reasons why I really love Soundwave as a Transformer completely, because Soundwave is the most loyal to Megatron, which I think is really, really cool. Because getting loyal characters, because you see characters throughout different video games or TV shows, they're like goons or whatever, henchmen. You don't really get to see true loyalty from a lot of the villain characters, and that's one of the reasons why I love Soundwave. I love Soundwave. Huh? Who are you? You came as a notification? Oh, are you a new person to the channel? Am I reading your name right? Altagust? Am I reading that right? Sorry if I'm reading your name wrong. Are you new to the stream? I mean, new to the channel? Because, assuming if what you're asking is you don't know, the channel... Sorry, that was really confusing. So, if you're new to the channel in general, I will explain who I am. So, my name is Confused as always. Hey, what's up? And my channel is all about doing lyric videos, putting lyrics to video game themes, and these are early morning live streams that I've sort of implemented during the beginning of this week, where I start live streaming at 6:25 roughly, and my name is August, and I am new. Cool. So it's cool. It's good to have you on stream. So I make lyric videos, which is putting lyrics to video game themes, and I sing them. And these early morning live streams I start them at 6:30 a.m. And I just implemented these during the beginning of this week. But I'm probably going to do a lot more. Probably going to do them all next week. So, another thing that I do here on the channel is I have 2 other channels for other things that I want to sort of separate to... So the first channel, I don't know if I have them listed somewhere. I think I forgot to link them. But anyways, I have a podcast channel called Confused and Then Some, which all of it should be on my homepage after the live stream VODs. Is the podcast channel where I just talk about different things related to other things. Lyrics cool, but why did you show as a notification? I can't answer that, my man. I don't really control, as a YouTuber, you don't really control that specific things. It's either because of the thing I'm talking about or how the thumbnail of the video is. Because, I mean, are you a Transformer fan? Because that's what the thumbnail is for this early morning live stream. If you're not, then I can't really answer that. Because YouTubers don't control how notifications go to people. Was it in a recommended feed? It could be from a recommended feed, possibly. Or was it a Was it a notification? I'm not an expert in YouTube, as some people would come to me and say, hey, look, Confused, he's a good YouTuber. If you want help with video editing or anything, go ask him. He's a professional YouTuber. I am 100% not a professional YouTuber. Because, like, situations like this, like, things like what you're asking, like, how is notifications, if you're new and you never see me, why is notifications popping up? I don't know. So that's a good example of why I'm not a professional YouTuber. Notification bell? Okay, yeah, if that's the case, I have no idea. Were you an old subscriber that just, sort of... Wait, are you even subscribed? That's a good question. Because if you're not... What is this? Logan Games. Hey, what's up, Logan? So, I can't really answer. And for the reason of continuing talking what I'm talking about, as weird as that is, transitioning back into sort of what I was talking about. So, I was talking about the fall of Cybertron, the war of Cybertron, specifically the games that were for Xbox. I don't know if they were released for any other thing, platform, I mean console. So, I don't, Oh wait, I know. I liked the song about Mario and Luigi song Partners in Time. Oh, really? There were a handful of songs... Oh, you subscribed? Hey, thanks, man. there were a handful of lyrics that I made, lyric videos that I have on my channel that is really oddly popular. It's just a bunch of random ones. Like, whenever I'm talking about popular, I'm talking about, specifically the videos on my channel that are over 10,000 subscribers, like Partners in Time, I think is like over 30,000. And there were, obviously, my Modesto Megalovania, is like over, what is it, over 50,000, 80, is it in the 100,000s? I actually think it's in the 100,000s now, which is insane. I love all your videos. Thank you, man, I appreciate that. Random. Yeah, a bunch of random videos are really up there. So, if you've never been a part of these early morning live streams, I'm going to sort of explain how they work. Ultimately, there is no point to them. I just talk about whatever comes to mind or whatever I can think of to not make these boring. Early morning live streams, I don't know if I'm going to have one tomorrow, but I'm definitely going to have one Monday next week. So if you want to be a part of it Monday next week, I usually start my early morning live streams at around 6:20, 6:25, and I officially start talking at 6:30, or at least that's for my time zone. I don't know what time zone you guys are on, so I'm a YouTuber myself, actually. Hey, what do? Do you do gaming? Do you do lyric videos? Do you do someone who was in my, I forgot what his name was, in my chat a while ago from a live stream I did in the past, does gacha videos. I don't really know gacha videos all that well, but I so what do you do? Oh no. Okay, so for everyone who's new, who doesn't get this, I usually drink tea in the morning. And I'm drinking tea right now, usually. So I've drunk tea during all of my early morning live streams, and I probably will continue that in the future. My tea, I left it sitting for too long, and it's really cold now. It's disgusting. I understand cold coffee works for other aspects, for like iced coffee and things like that. And I've tried iced coffee before, and it's pretty good. Iced tea is not very good. But I am gonna drink it all for the reason of I want to finish it. Oh, but this is so disgusting. Okay, I'm finished with it. Oh, what kind of tea? I am drinking specifically mint tea. I think, well, the one I'm drinking is a form of green tea. Mint tea is a form of green tea. And I specifically drink green tea for the reason of it sort of helps the congestion of the snot that's in your throat. So I do that for the sake of helping me sing. So what was this other one? I'm planning to do lyrics. I'm inspired by you. That's incredible. I never thought that I could inspire anyone. That's amazing, man. Well, it's like, it's so to tell a little story about related to what you said. I'm planning to do lyrics. I'm inspired by you. It's similar to one of the other live streams. I think it was on a live stream or a video that someone said something about, I don't remember if it was related to oh no. It was a part of the Undertale videos, lyric videos that I did. Someone in chat said that because of me, I got them into playing Undertale, which I think is really crazy because I never thought that I would, well, number one, I never imagined I could inspire someone. The whole point of me making videos in the first place, doing what I do, is to entertain people, to make people happy. I never imagined that I would inspire people. I mean, I guess in the back of my mind I sort of imagined that could happen, but I never actually thought it would happen. And it's interesting to know that not only am I inspiring people, but I'm also introducing people to games they'd never seen, which again, specifically for Undertale, I think is interesting because I think Undertale is like really widely spread known. When I was in school, I went tea. Awesome, man. I guess as weird of a transition as it would be, I'm gonna try to go back into talking about Transformers a little bit. And I talked about Transformers roughly a lot, specifically of the War of Cybertron, the Fall of Cybertron, so I don't really want to repeat myself because I'm really tired and I didn't really get too much good sleep last night. I'm just gonna, I guess I could just continue where I left off ultimately. So, to sort of do a smaller recap to sort of help you understand. So, there were two games that were on Xbox, I know for certain because I played them both. I don't know if they were on any other console. That was The Fall of Cybertron, The War of Cybertron, and chronologically, The War of Cybertron happened first, The Fall of Cybertron happened next. And it's sort of self-explanatory. During the War of Cybertron, you fight during the War of Cybertron, and the Fall of Cybertron is the Autobots fleeing the planet and the Decepticons in pursuit to destroy them. My teacher was like, "Do your best." British accent. I was like, "Give me some tea." Sorry, that was really terrible. I'm sorry. Really? Oh yes, Transformers. I have seen the movies and played the DS game. Oh, I forgot all about the DS game. Guys, my dudes, oh my. I could tell you stories about me playing the DS game. I love it so much. So I only had the copy of the Decepticons version. So if you guys don't know about the Transformers DS game, there were... Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, that was rude. There were two different Transformer games for the DS. There was an Autobot version and a Decepticon version, and they were all set in the same maps and areas, but you play different missions depending on which version you buy. I own the Decepticon version, one of my friends owned the Autobot version, and we would always play battles in the holocron mode where you have to get the holocron and put it in your goal and get a point. Those were so much fun to play. I love that. The best game, man. I would love to, all these games, all these old Transformer games, I want to play them again. Like I would love to get the Decepticon DS game and play it again, and I would love to get the Fall of Cybertron and play that again, because I played a lot of the War of Cybertron, and I would, the Fall of Cybertron I feel is more advanced. Well, I guess it makes sense if that was the next game in the series of the War of Cybertron, they did more advanced stuff. So Soundwave, because I'm gonna say this just because I think some of you weren't here. So Soundwave is my favorite Decepticon, hence why he's on the thumbnail for this video. I love Soundwave. My second favorite Decepticon, or I'm sorry, Transformer as a whole, is, my first favorite is Soundwave. My second favorite is Starscream, and the reason why I like Starscream is because these characters who try to usurp leaders' roles are some of my favorites. Transformers for life. Yeah, I can't believe, like, it's been years since I thought about Transformers, and that's why I wanted to bring it up in this stream, because it's been so long since I even thought about Transformers. And I want to, what was it? There was another show, so I watched, I don't remember if it was called, and I guess I am going to repeat myself a little bit here from the beginning of the stream. One of the old Transformers shows that I watched was a 2D animation, a very old animated Transformers show. That I had DVDs, not all of them for, but for most of the episodes for that series, and it was one of my favorites growing up. The next one line of the Transformers that I watched was, I don't remember, it was another 2D animation, but I think I only had like the first 3 or 4 episodes of it, and there was a lot of time gaps in between those episodes. I don't remember what that one was called. But the one after that, which is funny because I think it's chronologically because of the design in Megatron from that show that I don't remember the name of, going into the next show, which was Transformers Energon. You have them all? You have them all? Seriously? That's awesome. The Transformers Energon was one of the shows that I remember most fondly of. Just purely because of the reason of I watched it more than I did of the 2D animation. And I was looking up some episodes, just last night. And I wanted to watch all the episodes that I didn't watch. I watched... That's a lot, yeah, indeed. Very much so. So the only episodes of Transformers Energon that I watched was the very first episode, chronologically, going up into the point that Megatron had taken the head, which if you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about, but if you don't, it's all going to be confusing. It's when Megatron is in control of Unicron, specifically his body, because another entity called Alpha Q is controlling its head separately. So Megatron, with the control of Unicron's body, takes the head of Unicron that Alpha Q is controlling and puts it on his body. And at the time, Alpha Q was creating new planets, and it was sort of nurturing them. Like, that was Alpha Q's thing. It was like the father of planets or something like that. And he was storing up a lot of energy in the head of Unicron. So by Megatron taking the head of Unicron that Alpha Q was controlling and putting it on his head, it sort of destroyed him because of all the destroyed Alpha Q because of all the energy that was in the head. You're watching it right now. So it ended up killing Alpha Q. And that was a really sad point. And the last moment that I remember, that I will always remember because it was the last episode, during the same episode, I think, there was a character called Shock Blast, which I gotta say, there's a lot of, I don't know if it was like supposed to be a replacement, because it was like there's Soundwave, then there's Shockwave, then there's Shock Blast. I think a Shock Blast was supposed to be the replacement for Shockwave. Shockwave specifically in the Transformer universe that isn't that is not Transformers Energon. He was a scientist, a Decepticon scientist. Shock Blast was just some crazy assassin who killed a lot of Autobots. So I think it was just a weird replacement for Shockwave, which I would much rather prefer Shockwave over Soundwave. But I guess Shock. Did I say Shockwave? Soundwave? I meant Shock Blast. So Shock Blast, I guess, because during the series of Transformers Energon, Starscream was created by Alpha Q, and Starscream, well, okay, so Alpha Q created two different entities to sort of help them with their mission of planets. Transformers is big brain talk, I know, right? Definitely. It was like the live stream that happened 2 days ago where I was just talking about Star Wars lore nonstop. So Starscream, and during the specifically Transformers Energon series, Starscream and another character called Scorponok was introduced. SOS, my mom called me. Uh-oh. If you got something to do, go do it. Don't let me get you in trouble if you have stuff you need to do. I don't want to get you guys in trouble for some reason. So, I'll try to get my train of thought back. So Starscream and Scorponok were created by Alpha Q to help him in his mission of, like, gathering Energon for the sake of, originally it was for the sake of Unicron, to use Unicron to spread his ability of the creation of planets more widespread, but then he had to split the head from Unicron because Megatron had broken, because Megatron, there was another show before it that had Megatron sort of invented in the inside of Unicron, sort of sealing him away in a way, and then the new series, or the new series at the time, which was Transformers Energon, was like reviving him at the very beginning, and that's sort of what happened. What? Wonder if that's okay? Wonder if I was okay? Oh, okay. Okay, good. I don't want to get anyone in trouble by doing, because again, I don't know you guys' time zone, so I don't want you guys getting in trouble on my account for doing, like, because right now it's 7:09 a.m. for me, and I don't know if your guys' time zones is like 5 in the morning. And because I know a lot of people still have school. I don't have school anymore because I've technically graduated. And I know a lot of people in my chat would come to me and would say things like, I still have like until the 25th, the next week after the 25th still of school. Yeah, he from Transformers got so many arms. You don't know our time zone. My time zone is Denmark. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know a lot of. That's why for these early morning live streams, I sort of. It's 1 in the afternoon here, really, because a lot of the streams during the early morning live streams, I sort of decided that I was just gonna do it early in the morning, and for those who couldn't join, I would put the VODs up on the thing on the main page of the channel, so if people wanted to come and watch them, they could. But for other live streams that I do, I usually check in with my Discord server, for everyone who joined my Discord server to see what time zone works best for them, so I'm not streaming at an inconvenient date for them, so they can join in the live stream. So for these early morning live streams, I didn't do that. I just stream 6:30 a.m. That's when it officially starts. Every morning, which again, tomorrow morning I probably won't have an early morning live stream because I'm working on Hollow Knight Musical Bites, and I'm probably just gonna be hitting it tomorrow morning early. So Monday. Wait, where am I from? I'm from good old Texas, my friend. I'm from good old Texas. And I sort of forgot what time zone that is. Hold on, I'm gonna really quickly find the text that my friend sent me to sort of help me distinguish time zones. Central time. I'm at Central time. Central time. I'm on school on Mondays. Oh no. Well, oh no. You have school on Mondays. Just a small interesting story. A lot of people that I had live, whenever I live streamed, USA, Texas, that's 7:11 a.m. Yeah, that's correct. I'm at 7:11 a.m. right now. So, a lot of people from every time, well, not every time I live stream, but a lot of the times whenever I live streamed, either early in the morning or sort of like throughout the day, I would always get people in my chat saying how they were in school, like they were either in like a grace period where they could just hang around and they were watching my live stream. I don't know, I think that's really funny. But don't do that if that gets you in trouble. Again, I don't want you guys getting in trouble if you're not supposed to be doing stuff you're not supposed to do. I don't know why that's how I said it, but that's sort of how I said it. Okay, sort of getting back on topic to Transformers. So start in the Transformer Energon series, Starscream and Scorponok was created by Alpha Q. I already said that, but they both Megatron ended up getting both of them on his side. So Scorponok, well, he sort of forced Scorponok more intensely to become a Decepticon, inventing, well, in the words of Megatron, I will invent the Decepticon Signia so deep into your core. And that's what he did, to the point that he just became evil. I don't know, like, power-wise how that works. If that's just something Megatron can do. I don't remember how Starscream got on Megatron's side, but he did. And I think the reason why they had Shock Blast instead of Shockwave. So if you don't know who Shockwave is the Decepticon scientist. But they didn't have him in the Energon series. They had Shock Blast, which was more of he was a similar design to Shockwave, but he was more of an assassin type character. And I think the reason why they implemented Shock Blast instead of Shockwave is because Starscream has always been the usurper type of character who always wanted to be the leader of the Decepticons and take it from Megatron. But Starscream in Energon, in Transformers Energon, he isn't that type of character anymore. He's just a servant. He's just someone who serves without question. So I think the reason why they got Shock Blast is because they knew that they were missing that usurper type of a character in the Decepticons, and Shock Blast was indeed that character. And so in the final episode, the reason... Do you play Friday Night Funkin'? So, fun fact, at the beginning of my streams, I do play a Friday Night Funkin' theme. Because there's a Transformer mod where you fight Transformers. Oh, really? That's awesome. What? Transformer song? Okay, sorry, I got a little distracted. So, getting back to what I was saying. I think that's, so during the episode, I bring all that up to mention Shockwave, Starscream, all that, just to say that the final episode, the final episode I watched, I mean, that, and I didn't watch any of the other episodes because I didn't have access to them. So the last episode that I watched was, I don't remember the name of it, but it was whenever Megatron took the head of Unicron that Alpha Q was controlling, put it on his head, and made Unicron one again, whole again. And, while he was doing this, Optimus Prime was fighting Shock Blast on the snowy planet down below. And Shock Blast was going absolutely berserk and crazy because Shock Blast had sat in the throne that was like sort of the steering wheel of controlling Unicron. And he was trying to take Unicron's power. I don't understand it completely, but Megatron would sit in that chair to, 1, control Unicron, and 2, gain more power from Unicron. I don't understand how that, or I don't remember how that worked completely, but Shock Blast tried to do that, and he was like, I can feel Unicron's energy surging through me, but he gained a lot of power from it, but he sort of went berserk from it, unlike Megatron, and he went crazy and berserk. And then he went down to the surface to fight Optimus for some reason, sort of ignoring Megatron, which, again, for a usurper character, if you're going to make a usurper character in anything, you got to make sure you're doing it right. If Shock Blast was a true usurper replacement for Starscream, and he gained all this power from Unicron, he would have used that power to destroy Megatron. He wouldn't have just for some reason gone to the surface to fight Optimus. You can make a Transformer song. I'm not so sure about that one, Chief. It would have to be an original. It would have to be an original to make that possible. And I don't really have copyright access to a lot of songs, so I don't know if that's gonna be possible. In the future, I might. We'll see what happens. Anyways, he went down to the surface and he was going berserk, and Optimus was trying to knock some sense into him, trying to get him back, because Unicron was sort of infecting Shock Blast's mind at the time, corrupting him more. Hey, welcome! Don't worry, I'm going to be streaming over an hour, because I know of a lot of the original people who usually join the stream, isn't here, so I'm going to be streaming for a little bit longer, talking about Transformers. It would be cool, though. I definitely agree. It would be very cool to make a Transformers song, but unfortunately, I can't really at this point in time. Again, it would have to be an original, and I don't have copyright access to a lot of original themes to use, so unfortunately, cannot do that. Or at least not right now. I probably will be in the future. So, welcome to the live stream. Glad you could join. We're just talking about Transformers. To get back to sort of the plot of the last episode that I saw of Transformers Energon, Megatron tried to sit back in the seat after Shock Blast had already sitting in the seat that controlled Unicron, and whenever he tried sitting back into the seat, Unicron was sort of, in a way, rejecting Megatron's control. I mean, he was still accepting controls from Megatron, but it would, like, also fight against Megatron as well. And it had something to do with the fact that, when Shockwave sat in the seat that controlled Unicron, not only was Shock Blast, I said Shockwave again, didn't I? Shock Blast was not only gaining energy from Unicron, but because Shock Blast was in the seat, you get a weird connection from Unicron, or at least that's how it works. Sitting in the seat, you get a weird, you gain power from Unicron, but Unicron also gains some kind of connection from you. And by Shock Blast sitting in the seat that controls Unicron, Unicron picked up the connection from Shock Blast. That's the usurper that Shock Blast wanted to be the one to usurp Megatron's control. So that was the reason why Unicron was sort of fighting back against Megatron's control. You never got into Transformers? Well, it's understandable. Transformers is, at first sight, not really for everyone, which I understand. I understand that. Whenever Shock Blast ended up, because Shock Blast somehow gained more power than what Megatron was able to gain from sitting in the throne in Unicron. And so whenever Shock Blast was going berserk attacking Optimus, he was sort of, well, not losing against Optimus. Technically, Shock Blast had the upper hand, but Optimus was trying to jog his memories, reminding him that he's not Unicron's puppet because Unicron was infecting Shock Blast's mind. So he was trying to convince him, and then Megatron had enough power to force Unicron to crush Shock Blast on the surface. And by doing so, by destroying Shock Blast, killing him off, Megatron gained all the power that Shock Blast had, but instead of going berserk, he just gained the power and stayed sane. Well, I say sane. One of the most memorable lines that I remember was from that final episode that I watched of Transformers Energon was, I think, if I remember correctly, he said something like, I am the controller of the universe. I am the destroyer of something. And then he would... This is Megatron saying it, by the way, so it was like... man, it's so it's my most memorable memory that I have from the show, but I don't even remember it, which is funny. It was such a dramatic moment. It was directly after when Shock Blast was destroyed, whenever he gained all this power, that Megatron was like, I am the Lord of Destruction, or something like that. I'm the controller of the universe. And then he makes the announcement that I am Unicron. And that was the most epic scene. And it was really entertaining to me. So that was the final episode of Transformers Energon that I watched. Everything after that, I have no idea of. And I know it continues on because Megatron turns into Galvatron, which I just have to say was something that I actually did not know about. Like, I knew that was something that always transpired, but I never saw what happened after he had turned into Galvatron. For instance, the show that took place after Transformers Energon, because it went in a chronological order, that there was this 2D show that happened, and then right after this 2D show, it goes into the plot of Transformers Energon, because it's like, that's how the storyline goes. Chronologically, it goes this 2D show, then the 3D show, Transformers Energon, it goes into that. So, during this 2D show, I don't know if this was actually a normal reoccurring thing. I actually never knew about this, that Megatron turns into Galvatron. So for this 2D show, Megatron turns into Galvatron for the reason of... So the Autobots were stranded in this weird place. Well, not all of them, a handful of them, because they were taking a spaceship through a wormhole, but it got affected somehow, and it sort of threw their ship off course, and specifically Optimus and a handful of other Autobots were sucked out of the ship and landed in this desolate planet. And one of the enemies that they were, well, the main enemy that they were fighting on this planet was a pure black red-eye version of Optimus Prime that was like a more eviler version, which was really cool, by the way. And that was just the main theme for that episode, was them fighting and running away from this eviler version and just as strong version of Optimus, which I think they alluded to was like an alternate version of Optimus that's more rabid. So I don't remember what happened specifically, if it was Megatron who did this, because Megatron ended up finding out where they were and he wanted to destroy them. So Megatron took a handful of Decepticons, went down to confront them. But I don't remember if it was... I think it was the evil version. It was either Megatron or if it was the evil version of Optimus that did this. That there was this weapon that created a massive explosion that affected everyone. It took out Megatron and his Decepticons. It took out Optimus and his Autobots. And all of them were affected. They were all in pain. They were on deathbed. And during this time, whenever they were all sort of almost dying, the Minicons, which that was one of the main things in this specific show that I don't remember the name of, was the Minicons and how they affect other Transformers and how they're important to Transformers. So the Minicons were like some different dimension entities that they come from Cybertron, but they were some kind of different entity from what normal Cybertronians were. They had boosting abilities. So a bunch of Minicons came down and saw that, and they affected all of them, not just the Autobots, but they helped the Decepticons as well. So they went down. So a handful of the Minicons went to them, and then they healed them and also improved them. So all of them like they were all repaired. They were no longer injured. They got like a fresh coat of paint on them. They all had different paint jobs on them, I think, except for Optimus, but I could be wrong. And that's how Megatron turned into Galvatron, because he turned into the color scheme of Galvatron, which was signature grays of, obviously he still had the signature grays of Megatron, but then the rest of his metal turned into an orange and purple, which, if you didn't know Galvatron's color scheme, he's like a purple, mainly a purple and gray scheme. So he ended up, that's how, in that show specifically, he became Galvatron with the help of the Minicons. And in Transformers Energon, Megatron becomes Galvatron. And this was just one clip that I seen last night. I don't know how he got there, but there was this pool of Energon, and there was Decepticons and Autobots who, like, it was some sacred place with more concentrated powered Energon. And they were like protectors or guardians of this place. It was both Decepticons and Autobots looking after this place. And the Decepticons were like, they believed that Megatron was some powerful force from legend that was called Galvatron. That was supposed to take control or do something. I forgot what the legacy, what it was supposed to be exactly. But the Autobot was sort of weary of him. He was like, you can't go into that concentrated pool of Energon, it's gonna destroy you. And then he was like, I also don't trust you. But Megatron, because the Decepticons, who was also looking after the place, kept telling Megatron at the time, it was like, you have to be the leader, we'll follow you, you have to be the one that was mentioned from legend, you have to be, so we'll follow you. So Megatron went into the concentrated pool of Energon, and then instead of, because it was said it would either improve his power or it was going to kill him, but it didn't kill him. He came out unscathed, and then he got his color, the Galvatron color scheme of purple and gray, and then that's how he became Galvatron in Energon, in Transformers Energon. So I actually don't know if, because I was unaware of this, that Megatron always evolved into Galvatron. Again, I don't know if that's a reoccurring thing in Transformers. I know in the movies they probably isn't. Well, I haven't seen all the Transformer movies, so I probably can't say. But I don't know. I don't know if that's just the animated series or if that was like animated series exclusive. Okay, what's this? Sorry, I was sort of not paying attention to chat. Transformers talk is actually more complicated than physics. It kind of is in a way. I'm working on an Undertale lyric video right now for Papyrus. Ooh, good stuff, good stuff. This talk is actually raising my IQ by 20. And yes, I do understand what you mean by saying I've seen Transformers and played some of the games. Okay. And I forgot to sort of finish up, well, mainly because I didn't want to repeat myself, but I guess I could sort of bring it up again. So so I was trying to bring up the Fall of Cybertron because the War of Cybertron, I played both games, but I would love to play the Fall of Cybertron again because that was my favorite. So I actually don't remember what my point of bringing that game up in the first place was. I have no idea. I guess I could just, if I don't remember, I could just talk about interesting things, I guess. Or at least things I find interesting. About some of the characters. Oh yeah, I guess if you guys ever seen like the old Transformers animation that was like not even ink, that was like pencil sketch design. I think that's how it was made, but I could be completely wrong about that. One of the weird things that I thought was the Decepticons base in that animated series was underwater. I don't know why I found that weird, but as a kid I was even like, that's a little strange. Even as a kid. But that show implemented a lot of weird themes. Like one of the episodes was an entity. Like that show had a lot of weird things in it. Like Crimzeek. I don't know how I remember this episode so clearly. So one of the episodes from this animated show was a creature called Crimzeek that the Decepticons made, and Megatron sort of just put him in a box and then dropped him off at the Autobots' front door and was like, okay, we're leaving. We're not going to tell them we sent it. And Crimzeek snuck into the base and sort of wrecked all their devices and a few of the Autobots, because Crimzeek was supposed to be this entity of electricity that can control electricity. So Crimzeek would mess around and destroy a lot of the Autobots by getting into the Autobots and messing up their circuitry. So I don't know why I remember that episode so much, specifically with Crimzeek. How do I even remember Crimzeek? That was like one of the most obscure episodes, I think, from that series. Question? Yes? What is your question? Oh, also I finished my tea, so I'm gonna quickly grab my water bottle. What's your question? Okay, I'm back with my water bottle. Because drinking this tea with sugar rocks in it dried out my mouth. Better now, better now. And here's where my ADHD sort of comes into play, because I sort of don't want to talk until you finish typing, asking the question, because I know that if I start talking about something else, and then eventually whenever you put whatever your question was up in live chat, my brain's going to be like, forget what I was talking about, let's look at this. Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but it sort of is a bad thing if I'm trying to hold a topic, so I sort of want to wait until you ask your questions so I don't get distracted and go off track. Which, I'm not saying that you guys shouldn't talk in chat. That's one of the reasons why I love doing these live streams, is being able to talk and hang out with you guys, because that's some of the things that I don't really get to do often, which another reason why I'm glad I'm doing these early morning live streams, because I get to hang out with you guys a lot more. Trying to move my chair. Okay, I guess I'll try to do a topic and look over. So, yep, okay. What was it? Soundwave's evolution. I know I'm just gonna turn on a dime, but Soundwave's evolution is interesting. So I'm gonna bring it up one more time. Hiya! Hiya! So this is, my chat is breaking? Oh no, that's not good. So this version of Soundwave comes from the War of Cybertron and the Fall of Cybertron. This specific, because this is Soundwave's Cybertronian form. Oh yeah, that was something I wanted to bring up, the Cybertronian form and then the normal vehicle form from whenever they're on Earth. Is very interesting to me. So anyways, this version of Soundwave right here, the specific design of him with, you see the little cannon slash Soundwave device that's on his shoulder and his boxy design of his chest. That is a classic Soundwave design that I absolutely love. One of the ones that I don't love as much, that I actually despise with a passion, the Soundwave design that they made, was from one of the shows. I don't remember what it was called, but I hate the design of all the look of the Transformers in the show, which I think a lot of people also agree that looked terrible. I'm gonna try to bring it up. I actually don't have a picture of it, so I'm gonna look one up, because I didn't want to show that ugly monstrosity on stream. So I'm gonna go ahead and look that up now, which was... Yeah, see, this is the evolution of... I'm gonna try to bring this one up on stream too, just because... Well, this one's more reminiscent to the toy. That's not really my point. This one! No. This is the problem with streaming on a MacBook. I can hardly click anything else. There's obviously, the real-life versions, coming from, specifically the movies. That's why I say real-life versions, because I'm referring to the movies. So this version, so this is another, this is what I, okay, hold on, that's not what I meant to do. Gotta get rid of this. So, this is what I mean when I'm referring to this is a classic design of Soundwave with the chest, the boombox square chest, and the device on his shoulder is a classic design, because that's been Soundwave's classic design since generations, as referred to by this one right here. Because Soundwave is always supposed to be a boombox music sort of character, so his design has been this style for all generations. It's been this similar style for all generations, and it's amazing. And then for some stupid reason, I don't know why, someone had the brilliant idea of being like, hey, we're gonna make some improvements. And I'm sure people were like, what kind of improvements that you're making? He goes, we're gonna make them look more cool. And for some reason, they came out with this monstrosity. I absolutely dislike this version of Soundwave oh so heavily. Look at this ugly Soundwave. I hate this version of Soundwave. I forget I know what show it's from. I just don't remember specifically what it's called. But I hate the design of all the Autobots, the Decepticons. All of them look so bad. Like Soundwave, I think was the worst designed one. I don't like how they look. I mean, I guess it's cool. The idea of it is cool on rice paper and what they could do. But this... Why? Look at this. This is terrible. I would much rather have a much cooler version like this. Like, I would much rather have the classic boombox style of his original form of what he looks like to this stupid... I mean, I don't understand this. Can you guys see what I'm talking about? I don't like... I would much rather prefer boombox style. Sorry, what was it? Sorry, that was just a little rant that I went on because I absolutely dislike that version. So I'm gonna... Anyways. Okay, getting rid of these. And then I'll make my comeback. Whoa, look at me, I'm back. Okay. So, looking at chat. My chat is breaking. I'm gonna type in the comments my question because it's not appearing. Oh, no. Another question. Oh, no. Okay, I'll look at that on my phone. So, what was this other one? I think it looks ugly, and I don't even watch the show. Yeah, it was absolutely terrible. I like the classic boombox style that was Soundwave's main style. Even one of the other... There was Transformers Rescue Squad or something like that. That even Soundwave's appearance at the beginning seemed kind of terrible. I still very much enjoyed that whenever he transformed, it was still reminiscent to the classic boombox style. He had that thing on his shoulder. He had the boxy torso. Like, even that show committed to the classic style. I'm sorry, that's just a rant that I can go on for hours about, because I absolutely dislike, with a heavy passion, that specific design Soundwave. Another thing that that's really cool about Soundwave, I think I already mentioned this before, is the loyalty Soundwave, which is one of the reasons why he's my favorite, is the loyalty that Soundwave has for Megatron. Every iteration... Oh, you can't even comment? I was just looking, trying to... Oh, no. That's not good. Maybe it's because I'm getting some errors from YouTube Studios. That could also be a possibility. And it's really, like, for every iteration of Soundwave, Soundwave has always been the most loyal Decepticon. And that's one of the reasons why the Fall of Cybertron is my favorite, because there's more. During the War of Cybertron, you can choose to be Soundwave and whatever, and that's fine and dandy. But during the Fall of Cybertron, you see just how much more loyal Soundwave is compared to the others, because, and this is one of the reasons why I brought up Fall of Cybertron to begin with. So whenever Megatron in Fall of Cybertron was destroyed, Starscream was trying to take over, and there was this ceremony that was going on. And while this ceremony for Starscream's coronation or something, because for some reason they have a crown to crown the leader of the Decepticons, while that ceremony was going on and Starscream was taking Megatron's leadership, Soundwave was in his lab repairing Megatron. And it's so cool because because you don't really, again, you see like henchmen and things from other shows or games. You never really see a villain that has true committed loyalty to their leader villains, because usually the gimmick is always usurping them. So it's a refreshing change to see, like, a character that has pure loyalty for their leader. And Soundwave, like, he rejected Starscream's leadership because Megatron is the pure leader of the Decepticons, and Soundwave knows that even if Megatron's gone, Megatron would not have allowed this. So during this section, you play a Soundwave of the game, and you're working on using like Laserbeak Rumble to sort of help you repair Megatron. And then from that point on, you stop playing as Soundwave and you start playing as Megatron to destroy Starscream, which I have to say, something I will give the War of Cybertron over the Fall of Cybertron. You do get to play as the characters a lot more. Like, you could play as Soundwave if you have a mission that's like Megatron, some other Decepticon, and Soundwave. I do like that you could choose what character you play, and you could play that character throughout the entire mission. With the Fall of Cybertron, all the cool characters, you don't really get to play them a lot, because in the Fall of Cybertron, Soundwave has been improved so much more cooler. Like, in the War of Cybertron, the main gimmick is just the weapons. You can switch between your secondary and main weapon, and just use things like bombs and whatnot. But in the Fall of Cybertron, they actually made the improvement on Soundwave that you can bring out Laserbeak, Rumble. I don't know if Revage was also a part of that during the Fall of Cybertron. I don't think he was. I could be wrong though. But that's really cool, and you only get to play as Soundwave like 2 times. One during the scene where you play as Soundwave to repair Megatron, and the second at the very end of the game where you're doing switching between the Megatron, which is the Autobots and the Decepticons. You play as Soundwave, and you infiltrate their base and destroy one of their reactors. Which I gotta say, another thing that I favorite about the Fall of Cybertron and the War of Cybertron is the fact that you play as both aspects, both the Decepticons and the Autobots. And in the Fall of Cybertron, during that final scene, during the final point of the game, you switch a lot between the Decepticons and the Autobots. I think you actually start off playing as the Decepticons, playing as Soundwave to destroy their reactor, and then after you play as Soundwave, you switch to playing as, I think Starstream, yeah, I think his name is Starfire, one of the flying Autobots, and you go and destroy the arms from, which also, I gotta mention Trypticon again. Trypticon is a really cool Decepticon, because in the War of Cybertron, Trypticon was the giant space station that housed a lot of the Decepticons' energy that they were using to destroy the Autobots on the surface of Cybertron. And then whenever Trypticon was taken down during the game of the Fall of Cybertron, you go to get Trypticon back, for the reason of Trypticon can also apparently turn into a giant spaceship, which is what the Decepticons use to try to take down the Autobots during the final scene, the final chapter of the game in Fall of Cybertron. So I just had to mention that again. Trypticon is a really cool Decepticon. And after you play as Starfire, or whatever his name is, you go to play the Decepticons. It goes back and forth between them. So the next Decepticons you play as is, I think it's Brutus, the Decepticons that's like 6 other Decepticons that transform into one gigantic Transformer. You play as him. During this next scene, you're on the ship, and on the Autobot ship, sort of destroying things, and then after you destroy whatever was important at that point, you play as Jazz. You switch the Autobots again, you play as Jazz to take down Brutus, and then I think after that is whenever you get to choose, I think that's whenever the final confrontation between Optimus and Megatron. And what's really cool about this next part is you get to choose who you want to play as, Optimus or Megatron. And it's funny because they give you this option, like you're going to give 2 different endings, but no matter who you choose, in the end you're just going to get sucked through the wormhole that the Autobots was trying to get through, and all of them get sucked through. I don't know if there was the next game in the series because I haven't checked, but presumably that's whenever they go to Earth, going through that wormhole. I love talking about things like this, like talking about plots and lore things, because I think it's really interesting to talk about them. I'm out of breath from talking about it though. Smiley face, you're the best. Oh, thank you, man. I'm gonna take another sip of my water because I'm out of breath from all that explaining. My point of saying that is, Fall of Cybertron is one of my favorite Transformer games. Not my most favorite, because I want to replay the DS game to see how fun that was, and then I'll make my final decision of if the DS games were funner than the Fall of Cybertron. Which I kind of already predict that the Fall of Cybertron is better, not just console-wise and mechanic-wise, but just because they added a bunch of cooler stuff in the fall of Cybertron. Like being able to upgrade your weapons and upgrading, because that was something that the first time I played it that I didn't take seriously, the upgrading scheme, that being able to use the little energon bits that you collected to upgrade. Can I play piano? No, I wish I did. So here's a little story that I could talk about related to piano. So I tried to learn to play piano a few times. The first time was from my sister, because she knows, my older sister, because she knows how to play piano, and she has a piano in her room. So she was showing me how I was supposed to put my hands on the keyboard, and I was trying to play, but I sort of dropped it instantly. And then the next time I tried to learn to play was actually from my school. So there was this music class that was implemented, and I chose to do piano, but the class ended up not finishing. I don't remember the reason why, but the class ended up not finishing, so I never got to play piano. And then after that, the last time I tried to play piano is whenever I was helping. So I went with my parents to help my parents' friends to move a piano, because they were moving houses and they didn't want this big piano that they had anymore. So we own it now. So we brought it home with us. We put it in our dining room. We eventually moved it to our living room. But while it was in our dining room, I went down and I looked at videos of practice of like basics, how you're supposed to play piano. And I tried to play piano again. But me being dyslexic and ADHD, I know that I would not be able to focus on playing an instrument, which I gotta say, something that runs in my family, or at least on my mom's side of the family, is everyone has a musical bone in their body. So, and that's true for my family, because everyone on my mom's side of the family either plays an instrument or they can sing. And my older brother, he plays a guitar. He can't sing, but he can play guitar. My sister, she sings and she plays piano. Me, I can't play an instrument. I say can't specifically because I tried playing piano and other instruments multiple times, but I cannot push myself to care about learning an instrument. So singing was the next best option. So I don't play an instrument, but I sing. My older brother, he plays an instrument, he doesn't sing. My sister, she plays an instrument and she sings. So everyone on my mom's side of the family has a musical bone in their body. Just thought that was an interesting thing to do. I can play it. I can play me. I meant I can play Sans Fight Papyrus theme. Oh, really? That's awesome, dude. Oh, Roblox Piano is also a weird one. I don't know if any of you play Roblox or even seen those servers, but there's a lot of, or not a lot of, but there's a handful of Roblox Piano servers, which I think the closest I've ever come to actually learning to play piano was from Roblox Piano, which is the saddest thing ever. But those servers are actually kind of fun because you get to walk around, because it's a large server with a lot of pianos in the game that you can walk around, and the closer you get to someone playing piano, you can hear what they're playing. So it's really cool to walk around to see all the people playing, hearing the people play piano, which my favorite instrument is the piano, and some of my favorite musics that involve piano are some of the most pleasing to hear. So piano is my favorite instrument. Roblox Piano is weird indeed. Yeah, because, you know, with which again, I can't play, I don't play piano, so I don't know if it relates. But you use the keyboard, your keyboard on whatever it is you're playing, your plug-in keyboard or Bluetooth or laptop, whatever you use to play on it, and you use the numbers at the top as well as some of the random letters on your keyboard to play. Which is really confusing. I don't know if they directly correlate to normal piano, like the F key or something. So I don't know if it's coordinates as what a normal piano would play. I don't know, because like I said, I can't play piano. Sorry, I got really close to the microphone for a lot of that. Sorry if that sounded like ASMR. I'm gonna check the stream on my phone to make sure everything's doing okay. Oh yeah, okay. So how are you guys enjoying the background music? I had completely forgotten that I had added background music last stream. So, this background music is So it's funny because even though I like piano and everything, and I enjoy a lot of music that involves saxophones, but ironically, as much as it's been memed about, jazz is like my least favorite genre. Like, I love every genre of music except for jazz. Well, I mean, I say that, but there are a lot of jazz songs out there that I enjoy. But overall, jazz isn't my favorite of the music genres. But this background music that's currently playing is jazz. Yeah, it's pretty chill. Uh, this background music is a jazz type beat, and I like it. It's a royalty free beat, and I really enjoy it. So this beat actually comes from my podcast channel. This is the music that I use for the background of my podcast channel videos. Oh yeah, that was something I never finished explaining, did I? So if you're new and you don't know, I have two other channels besides. So Confused as Always is my main channel. I have a podcast channel called Confused and Then Some, where I talk about different subjects, and I started a new series called Let's Talk About YouTube, which is talking about either reviewing YouTubers or talking about YouTube related things. So far I've only talked about YouTubers. And then this other channel that I own is Confused IRB, which is Confused Indeed Rap Battles, which is just my rap battle channel. So the schedule that I have set, my schedule for all the channels, because if you're new, you wouldn't know the schedule. So the schedule for my main channel is I post 4 to 5 videos a month. This schedule is completely subject to change. This was just the first schedule I ever made, so it's subject to change. So, basically, I forgot what I was talking about. Thank you, ADHD. Oh yeah. So you could find all of those on the homepage of my channel if you were interested in looking up any of those. Oh yeah, no, the schedule, that's what I was talking about. So 4 to 5 videos a month for the main channel here on Confused as Always. For the podcast channel, I try to do 1 video a week, which I may have to change that to 2 videos a week. I mean, no, 1 video every 2 weeks, I'm sorry. Because I sort of learned that making... So you would see a lot more content on my podcast channel than you would here on the main channel. So if you wanted to see some sort of filler content in a way, you go to my podcast channel, and yeah, there's some other of my content. And then for Confused IRB, I post a rap battle video every month. So yeah, I dabble in a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But I think we are starting to near our end. Does anyone... So, basically, if you haven't come to these early morning live streams before, I start at 6:30 a.m. U.S. Central Time. And I usually try to go for an hour. The longest I've gone for is 2 hours, but I usually try to end it roughly around an hour. And we are over an hour. And since I sort of ran out of things to talk about, and I need to get ready, get working for today... I think this is where it will come to its end. So does anyone have any final questions, or do they have any final things they would like to say before this live stream officially nears its end? Any questions at all? Also, I gotta plug in my laptop. So while you're thinking about questions to ask, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in. Here we go. Man, time really flies. Yeah, tell me about it, dude. Like, a lot of these early live streams go by a lot faster than what I originally thought they would be, which is which is another funny thing, because it's like I don't do live content I don't prefer live content for the reason of I feel like I can't talk about anything. Which I think I proved myself wrong over the span of this week's early morning live streams. So I think I'm getting a lot better. Goodbye, my friend. Yes, this is where it's gonna end. So, does anyone have any last minute questions? I guess I forgot if anyone answered that. I don't think anyone answered that. I just wanted to give everyone a final chance to say something. This stream has not been sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Hashtag sad times. Do you have to go? Yes, unfortunately. I'm working on Hollow Knight Musical Bites, and I'm so close to finishing it, the lyrics, and I want to finish it. So I have to leave so I can finish the Hollow Knight Musical Bites. So yeah, unfortunately, I do have to go. So thank you everyone for joining the stream. I appreciate everyone joining in to listen to me talk for absolutely no reason. check comments. Yeah, oh. Okay, I will. Oh! I accident. Sorry about that. I sort of threw my phone. Check comments at end. Yeah, I'll do that. Please, so you can see my question. Yeah, I'm going there right now. Don't worry about it. I can't. I tried to look at it on my phone. For the reason of it was easier, but I can't look it up on my phone apparently. For some reason it only lets me see the live chat, not comments, so I'm gonna have to check on my laptop. So stream, I beg you, please don't crash the live stream. Oh no. Oh no. I can't see comments. Probably because, oh no. So guys, if for some reason the stream crashes, it goes down, just so you know, it was because I was trying to load up another thing. Oh no. Everything looks terrible. Okay, here we go. Oh no, my dudes. I can't, apparently I can't see the comments. Hold on, I'm gonna go into my YouTube studios to check the comments. I'm trying to do this for you, my man. I'm trying to get to the comments because for some reason it's, from my perspective, it's not allowing me to. I'm trying to do this for you, my man. Video details, analytics, monetization. I don't, where is the comments? I don't have comments, apparently. So apparently, unfortunately, I can't see the comments. So can you really, so can you not put it in the live chat? Because I can't check the comments. How about this? I will answer your question in the comments. I'll reply to your comment to answer your question because I can't do it right now, apparently, because from my perspective, I can't actually see the comments, which is unfortunate. So, I'm going, I guess, maybe when you end your stream it works, maybe. So, yeah, it's halfway to 2 hours, so this is where things are going to near its end, so bloop bloop. Thank you everyone for joining the live stream. I appreciate you guys hearing me talk about Transformers for no reason. And I hope to see you guys next Monday, because I probably won't be live streaming tomorrow because I'm going to try to finish the Hollow Knight musical bites tomorrow. So I probably won't finish them, but I want to get a good head start on them tomorrow. So I won't be doing an early morning live stream tomorrow for that reason. So I'll try to do one on Monday. So if you guys want to join in on Monday, I will be there on Monday, hopefully. Yeah. So, once again, thank you for joining the live stream, and I hope to see you on Monday.